you wrote a new blog on this GAO report, and that's on our website. And, normally we don't write a blog on a government report, but this one got a lot of attention. Just, briefly, what was significant about this GAO report?
Sure. So GAO, as you said, the Government Accountability Office, is the federal government's auditors. They're the ones responsible for looking at the ledgers, the books, the accounting books for each agency, each program to make sure that money is being spent correctly as intended and in the right amount. And we're very used to receiving reports from GAO when they look at specific programs. For example, if they look at the earned income tax credit program or the unemployment, the combined, state and federal government unemployment insurance program, for example. So they're really good at diving into individual programs and determining whether or not the program is spending money as it should. This was a new approach. In this case, GAO, it was his first ever attempt to measure what they're calling government-wide fraud. So not necessarily fraud within a specific program, but in general, how vulnerable is the federal government to systemic fraud throughout, all branches of government. And the results, they examined data over a 5-year period between 2018 and 2022 inclusive. And they determined, based on the statistical method that they used, that the federal government experiences direct financial losses attributable to fraud anywhere between $233 billion to $520 billion per year. So that averages out to a fraud rate of approximately 3 to 7%, depending upon which year you're referencing. So, it's unique in the way that they approach this problem. It wasn't, looking at programs individually and then sort of adding up the fraud, totaling up the fraud that they see in individual programs. It was more about using a statistical method of estimation based on known fraud, estimated fraud, and undetected fraud, estimates of undetected fraud, to figure out, okay, how much, government wide are we experiencing? So yeah, it was interesting. It obviously generated a little bit of controversy with respect to the Office of Management and Budget. That's the executive branch agency that's responsible for, distributing money to all of these agencies and conducting oversight. So it's basically GAO poking at OMB saying, hello, there's room for improvement here.